Emile, welcome to Breakfast with Refilwe, and thanks you so much for joining us on this morning's Big Breakfast broadcast. How are you doing?
Hey, Refilwe. Yes, I'm doing fantastic. Thanks.
Sure. So, Emile, this is something that when I was a kid, I was mentioning earlier, my mom, we did compost, but it was just pretty much any bit of food waste. Is that the correct way to approach it? Or are we supposed to be a little bit more discerning in the same way that we need to be with respect to our recycling waste?
So 100%. I think the biggest impact food waste has on being able to divert from landfill is that it does improve the percentages that you are able to achieve. So there are different ways of processing and beneficiating food waste. But if you look at primarily at composting, it is one of the easiest methods to sort of decompose all types of organic waste.
And so it's any organic waste, in other words?
So the system we use is bokashi composting, where we ferment or pickle food waste using microbes, and that does allow us to process all types of food waste in one single bin. When you look at worm farming or anaerobic digestion or biogas, there are some limitations to those systems, equally as efficient, but things like compostable packaging and those materials would not necessarily be able to be processed in that fashion. So composting, yes, it is very simple, it is very basic, but in an ideal world, it is the way nature intended for us to process our organic materials.
Do you collect? Or do you, I know I see the incredible stat that in 7 years you rediverted 5,600 tons of waste from our landfills. Is there you've got a service that comes door to door, doesn't it?
Yes, so we collect. We also have a drop-off facility for other waste companies to bring their waste through to us. So in essence, what we've created is a green landfill, where unlike the sort of archaic waste management system we used to have, or as your analogy pointed out earlier, the dead star, our landfill looks at taking this organic waste and processing it and converting it into compost. Our end game is that we are able to complete the biocycle and return that compost through to the soil. So for us, fundamentally, food waste has a primary function of assisting and diverting waste and supporting food security. It's one of the systems we've sort of neglected, as we've developed.
Sounds like it's actually quite lucrative too.
It does have its economic values. So one of the main drivers behind us looking at waste, looking at sort of organic waste that wasn't really treated and processed as efficiently and effectively as possible, was that exact driver. So Green Cape had a position out that for every 70 tons of waste diverted from landfill, one job is created. I had a brief sum back a couple of years ago, and the amount of waste that we were diverting from landfill in the Western Cape would, on that ratio, have an equivalency of 116,000 jobs. So one thing I do like to encourage people to look at when considering waste, improving their waste management systems, is the knock-off effect that this diversion has. So you look at sort of 1 to 10 ratio for diversion of waste to waste that goes to landfill. And these jobs are critical for the development and establishment of a more sustainable economy and social economic system. So we're looking at people that are drivers, we're looking at people that are sorters, separators, females working in warehouses doing depackaging. These are the types of jobs that we are looking at. They're sort of low to medium skilled, but again, it also has a knock-off effect on higher skilled employment opportunities. So your accountant, your legal teams, all of those things, as the companies grow and become more established, would be able to be supported in this ecosystem. A perfect example of this, our ops manager, Sizwe, has been working with the company for 7 years, arrived from the Eastern Cape with a driver's qualification. He now runs and manages our entire operation system within 7 years. So here's an opportunity for people to enter the workforce and really upskill what they've got in a sort of more favorable environment.
First of all, I love that you call your company an ecosystem. the business sort of value chain. I like that thematic. And then secondly, the Caesar story is really great because, of course, too often, I suppose, people get pulled into these jobs and it becomes a dead end. So I love the idea of upward mobility and upskilling as well. Also, it's a thematic that goes around an ecosystem or a life cycle. So this is very exciting. So Ywaste, if I want you to collect from my neighborhood, or what do? I just go to the website and fill out this form.
So yeah, there's a number of opportunities. I've loaded something very simple that people can look at online on our Instagram and Facebook page. A very simple worm farming system that you can implement at home, which can do quite a bit of your food waste. I know the kids are going to be on school holidays, so here's an opportunity for them to get stuck into something really fun and creative and start re-looking at food waste in that way. We do have, obviously, a collection service for both commercial and residential organic waste generators. And each system is tailored to the needs of the customer. The City of Cape Town is also working very hard on a project piloting food waste diversion for households. So I think they've got 5 sites that they're currently operating on. And then lastly, I just want to say that in the Western Cape, we are very fortunate. We have a very hard-working government system that has imposed a ban on organic waste going to landfill. So by 2022, 50% diversion and the ambitious target of 100% by 2027. So it is a fantastic opportunity for people to start looking at this waste stream in a more exciting and a more opportunistic sort of lens, because it has a massive opportunity to fix a lot of the wrongs that we complain about on a daily basis in our country.
Fantastic. Emile Fourie, thank you so much for that. Co-founder and MD of Ywaste. That's Y, the letter Y, and waste. As he said, he's put some information up on their Instagram and Facebook pages. Otherwise, go to Ywaste, I believe it was co.za.
Breakfast with Refilwe on Cape Talk.